Hello everybody and welcome back to Surviving Mars. Now we have finally finished researching the arcology, as it is called. So it is a huge spire building that houses a lot of people, and it has also an extremely high comfort rating. So, well, what's not to like about this building here? It's coming up splendidly, as we can see. Odd enough, it's coming up quicker than the fusion reactors. The fusion reactor still needs polymer. This one here needed quite a lot of polymer as well, but didn't take that long. Anyway, as we can see, it is up and running now. It has a 60 comfort rating for the residents, and it can house up to 32 residents in this one go here. It does, though, however, require quite a high maintenance of polymer. So that is something that you have to keep in mind for this. Oh, now finally the next polymers are coming to the fusion reactor. Right. Now, a nice little building that we have now there. It's actually coming out of the dome. So people up here can live, well, as close as possible to Mars. They probably shouldn't open the window if it's getting a bit warm in there. At least for now, until we have our terraforming completed. Now, that's perfectly fine, everything. We have the sport up, we have that up. So I think it's time to get the first colonists to these new domes here. The only thing that's missing really is a landing pad. So this landing pad here alone is not doing it anymore. The colony is growing, so we do need additional landing pads. So I want to have one more landing pad that we can have then close to these domes, so people can then travel there more quickly. And I think in this case, having one here should be fine, right? So right in front of this dome, beside my metal extractor. It's also pretty close then to the entrance there for those things. It's a bit close to the dome, but it's fine. And in that regard, we can now finally get a lot of new people coming in here. So I do want to, of course, have specialists, scientists as well, because we're going to have the Hawkins Institute that is quite powerful if you have scientists on board, especially if it's fully loaded. But that's not the only thing. So in that case, having only these scientists, of course, won't do. We do need more engineers, because we need to produce more electronics and machine parts ourselves. So I really don't want to have to import that so many times anymore. Right, 22 specialists have been selected. We can launch the rocket, and since we can have another arcology then on this dome here as well, we can actually send the next rocket, I think, righto to this plant here as well. So let's just see if we can afford another arcology. I think we can. Right, so we do have, yeah, it needs 10 polymer. We have 15 right now. We are producing polymer ourselves as well. Plus, I'm going to have another polymer production up soon. So let's have the next arcology there as well. We might exchange them later with a sanic sanatorium or something like that, that increases the morale again, or if they have a breakdown. Here we have the polymer factory number 1 with all the engineers in it. We can amplify that, and we probably should. So this one then produces a bit more, since polymer is not something we have that quite often. And the other thing is, oh, what I can see, the water extractor is finally working. Gives us a bit of a power, water edge there again, especially for the lake. As we can see, water levels are now at 100%. The problem though is the domes are consuming quite a lot of water there, so 2 for each of them. And the other thing is, that was the polymer factory that we have here, right? So we do need more polymers, something that we definitely cannot afford to lose. And yeah, actually I think we can have it right here, because it's close to the domes then with the engineers on board, plus it has the pipes and the power right next to it, so it's a good location for that. Over here we're going to have then the machine and the electronics factory. We have the Hawkins Institute. We have all the service buildings ready for those guys. The only thing that we are probably missing now is the factory, so some workplaces. The farm is ready for the botanists. I hope I didn't forget anything. And since there are so many people that are going to live in these domes, school and playground are open. We probably will need, yeah, definitely, actually, we do need also the Martian University, costing me quite some electronic parts again. And since we have quite a lot of rare metals, let's just have a look at my electronics factory, which is here. Very good. There is some staff on board. That's a good thing. And they're only producing 1.5 electronics per day right now, so it's not really high. The same for the machine parts factory. So we do need lots of more engineers here, actually. And in that regard, we are training them right now, so hopefully we get more of them. We probably will even have, yeah, we're going to need another rocket just for this dome there, because there's still some empty space. So let's get some more. passenger rocket. The problem is, as we can see, we have no applicants after this one here anymore. So I either take all of them now, or I will have to wait quite some time. So we're going to get some colonists here that probably don't have the best trades, right? Most of them are pretty good. Alcoholic, I think, is the worst trade that we can have. And in that regard, we have a few alcoholics here. Yeah, officers, I don't need that many officers, so let's get rid of them. It's better than nothing. We have a few geologists, that's very good, so we get more rare metals then, because we still have some spaces open. And this one is an alcoholic, for example. So work performance lowered by 10 can be caused by sanity breakdowns, right? And a plus for drinking. So let's launch this one. So we have 2 rockets now with passengers coming. In that regard, one will land here, and one will then land on this pad, especially the ones that are working then in these domes here. Right, so this one is being built now as well. I'm going to put the priority now to high for my fusion reactor, since as we can see the stored power is reaching critically low levels. Even though I do have quite a lot of wind turbines active, it's just not enough. Right, and for some reasons they're focusing once again on this one here, so I might actually just put this one on hold until we have more polymers. There we have now another polymer factory. I have no idea how they're staffed. It's pretty far away from my other domes, but at least it is working, and it is consuming a bit of water and power, as we can see. And what I can also see is that we're still looking fine with the water, which is strange to me, since I definitely built another water, well, consumption now, so we're still even though. And after a bit of time, our first rocket with the 22 passengers is arriving now, so hopefully most of them will go then to this dome and populate it. Now we can see the shadow of the rocket coming in first. And welcome to Mars. Yes, they are going to the right dome.
Research complete.
Oh, very good. And the farms now increase the comfort of all residents in a dome as well. That's pretty important.
Crop failure reported.
Right, as we can see, they're now housing everything here. Oh, yeah, we have no electricity right now. I think it's now empty, so we do need more wind turbines. I did not expect this to happen so quickly, but it did happen. That fusion reactor, seriously, we need the polymers. The rocket can then launch right away because we do need way more stuff from Earth. Okay, it's still being refueled. That's fine, but we do need more wind turbines. It's incredible, really, not having the energy there. And yeah, we have now the first scientists here in the Hawkins Institute as well. It's inactive at the moment though, because, you know, it's not the time of the day anymore. But this is the, I think, most efficient research that we have, and this should boost our research significantly because we're getting to really expensive researches now. That is something. And as we can see, they're now all living in the ecology, and comfort ratings are not so bad. I don't know why it's orange all the time, because it's not such a bad rating, but it will be improved, of course. We don't have any parks in this one yet. That's something, for example. Let's have a look at the other dome there. Comfort rating here should be increased then, of course, because we have now a farm then as well. There's still the problem with the shopping, and that is a problem that I cannot solve until we have enough electronics and stuff like that. So I'm not going to push any more shopping facilities. And as we can see, also more green patches appear everywhere. We should probably then have another one here as well, these forestation plants. Still waiting for polymer for the fusion reactor. This polymer factory here is working, has enough engineers then on board, so hopefully that is doing something. And what we can see here right in front of my domes, we also have a deep metal deposit that we can then use. And oh, there is another anomaly that we can also scan. We should be doing that. And this is so cool. I love these high buildings here, these tall buildings. Absolutely beautiful. It's still a mystery to me how we have a surplus of food. We are reaching 300 food. That is just totally capped. I mean, I don't know, we only have one farm and one ranch, and for some reasons it's totally fine. The other thing is, yeah, we need more scans. As we can see, oh yes, this is how we get the anomalies, by deep scanning my territory there once again. And lots of beautiful resource deposits that we have here. Deep water, deep water. So that is a research that we are going to have then soon as well. And yep, the infirmary here is now staffed. The diner is now staffed. The security station is staffed. Not in the night shift though, so I don't know. Oh! And as we can see, when they live here, the windows can open, or like the cover of the window can open, and they're then we can see them in their kitchen. Looks quite depressing to be honest, but still should be fine, right? He still needs to find a wife. Now this one here can go off again. Thank you very much. I just love when they launch. And off you go. And the other one is here. The other one though will then land on this pad because it needs to go to this dome or to this one, since we still have lots of free space. So this is now the base number 1, and over here we have the base number 2 then, which is coming up. And once we have the mega dome, we can have a huge one here. The only thing that's a bit bothering is how many more of these black cubes appear. And for some reasons, more than 100 cubes have appeared. The purpose and origin are still unknown. So we still haven't solved that mystery. And as we can see, they're duplicating. We can, however, destroy them. But I don't know if that is such a smart idea. No idea. 90 new colonists have arrived. There they are, going to the right dome. Very good. So they're much needed for my machine parts factory, my electronics factory, for my farm. Everything is now fully staffed again. That's so good to see. Also here the Martian University is still training engineers. They're the ones that we need the most. Engineer wise we should be fine. And yeah, the shops. It's very important to keep the shops online, and I think we've managed to do that. So this should then further improve the comfort rating of these domes. And we haven't had any Earthsick people in quite some time now. Fusion reactor is still stuck. There we get another polymer, but it's coming in very slowly. Anomaly analyzed.
Told us it was a vein rich with ore, but the data turned out to be incorrect. Under those fine red sands lay the intact hull of a rover.
We immediately recognized it. Curiosity, a historic finding that stretched its hand in a welcoming gesture through the years back to the first missions on the Red Planet. It belonged to a museum, but on the other hand was an opportunity to gain more parts that we could rarely get our hands on. It was a tough decision. We could send Curiosity back to Earth, get 500 million, or we display it as a monument in the colony, and this reduces the social tax. Yeah, sure thing. That's much better than a bit of money. This one here, oh, I see why we still don't have more polymers, because we don't have the pipes connected to that. Actually, it should be connected. It's going right through it. No idea why it's not. Oh, and as we can see, there are also some colonists going to the big dome. They thought it would be a better choice. Probably right about this. Right, the only thing... Oh, comfort is going up. The only thing that we really miss here is a beautiful park. We do have some trees in the middle, but that's of course not enough. So having a pond park in this area, right, where we have the infirmary and the school, I think that fits. Having 2 ponds here. And then around that we have some alleys. Oh, large garden. Ah, doesn't matter. Let's rather take the alleys there once again. If we can squeeze them in, that's fine. Right, a few parks there. Very important for the comfort rating. 11 polymers, fine. Now there's coming a bit over it, but it's a long journey for that fusion reactor. Polymer, yep, this is now working and is actually producing. It wasn't until now. And the next rocket can also launch back to Earth again. And we'll see each other again soon, because we are going to need more colonists still. We have 153 now, but that's still not enough. We don't have any unemployed people at the moment. That's also pretty good. So it shows that at least this time I planned it the right way. We could have probably a second shift here. If we have then the... Oh yeah, very good. The scientists working on that. And finally, the next day, construction of the fusion reactor finally began, and there we have it. Fusion reactor is online. It's not producing any energy yet because it does require, once again, engineers, and we don't have any engineers in this area right now. We also have this dust devil here. This one is, as we can see,
Crop failure reported.
polluting my dome, and there's dirt and dust now accumulating on the surface of it, so it needs, yeah, maintenance. It's actually malfunctioned because of that, and it needs polymers for that. But at least we have now the polymer factory working, actually fully staffed as well with engineers. This one here though needs the engineers, so we do need quite a lot of engineers. Unfortunately, that is something I cannot change, and the problem with that is though, on Earth there are almost no applicants at the moment, right? These are all the people that we could send. None of them is an engineer. So, huge problem. We have to wait for more applicants to appear. There is, as far as I know, a research for that we already researched. So, I really cannot boost that any further. Not something I like particularly, but we have to work with that. Up to that point, until we have the engineers, we have to still use wind turbines here and large solar panels. It's unfortunately the only way of doing it. There we get the first one. At least that is something, and he's happy about that. He's the only person working in a fusion reactor, and I hope he knows what he's doing. It's a beautiful building though. I finally figured out a way of how we can use these black cubes here, and that is that we actually have monuments. Look at that, a decorative monument created from the mysterious black cubes. Definitely not a place of worship. And it cost me 42 the small one and 126 the big one. And since we have so many of them, and this is looking absolutely horrible, but still we can use it. And yeah, I think we should use it. Let's use it. Difficult decision. We have so many here. Probably let's have one. Oh god, no idea where I should use them. Can we use them inside? We could use them inside, but I don't know if I want to have these cubes inside one of my domes. Probably want to have them far away. Let's build one here. Right, and my drones should now mine those cubes. Ah, very good. They're doing it. So that's easy. So it seems like this is just a harvestable resource until we find out more. The patient. An unidentified individual has been spotted wandering the wastes near Wreckage Shuttle, wearing a spacesuit of an unfamiliar design. When we got near the person, we noticed severe burn-like marks on their skin. They also seem to be deaf and numb because of some mysterious ailment. All in all, they seem to be in great pain and obviously abandoned by some other colony to die alone on Mars. We can't put the colony at risk. Bring them in for treatment. Yeah, let's bring them in for treatment. We're not animals after all. We have accepted the mysterious person at an infirmary. Scans and blood samples reveal changes to their insides and DNA, changes never even theorized as a possibility before. A cutting-edge pharmaceutical research facility on Earth has expressed willingness to take on the unknown condition and send us 50 million. Or it may be worth studying the disease and aiding the stranger as long as we can, in case we end up having to deal with it on a large scale. Oh, this one cost us 50 million. We not get 50 million, but we have to pay 50 million. Yes, let's do this to advance the research on this topic. Alrighty, our monument is coming up. Our questionable monument, I should say. Energy-wise, we produce a bit more now. As we can see, we got now one engineer in each shift. So they're coming out of the university, obviously, and are being trained then right at the fusion reactor. And as we can see, even though it is only staffed with one person, it's already producing us 52 energy. So as much as 3 to 4 of these fusion reactors here, 5 even, without the upgrade. That's pretty cool. Like, lots of energy coming out of this one, even though it only has one for each shift at the moment. The Kirchhoff #1 dome is working again. We already have some botanists over here. producing us some additional food, even though food is still growing. Another rocket with more applicants is already on the way, and yeah, now we really need to wait. There are almost no applicants. I think what we still need is for those guys here living, even though it's not that many yet. No, it's not that many yet, I'm not doing that. I wanted to go with another university, but having one is fine at the moment. So we're still training more engineers, we need so many of them. Incredible. And another rocket is here with 12 passengers. In this case here, there are no engineers on board, so I'm not going to let it land here to those domes there. We rather have lots of buildings with lots of open space or, well, workplaces. So let's have it land here, so it can then go to one of these domes. And our monument has been finished. Doesn't really give off much, but at least we have used some of these cubes. Building a few more of these will then, of course, get rid of all of those cubes. So at least we found a way of stack them. That's quite important, I think. Alright, looking good so far. The colony is growing. We are getting close to 200 people now. We have fusion reaction finally. Energy problem still not solved. But now we can focus a bit more on terraforming again, since I want to speed that up. And terraforming costs a lot of energy. So in that case, one fusion reactor is going to be only the beginning of the mass energy production. Stay tuned.